My name's Jason Ramsden. I'm a technical lead for the AV team at Lincoln University. Yeah, and it's quite nice to grow up with the university and to be part of that journey and experience. Before that I was a student here, law, so perfect transition into AV design. Yeah, that's another story. If you think about today how we can communicate and how we consume content outside of work or university with smart devices, it's almost instantaneously at the end of your hand. You can call and make a video call or something. So we wanted to replicate in a way that that ability at an enterprise level at scale, and so that we could scale quite successfully without having to worry about complex installations or massive amounts of additional support required. When we're doing blended learning or hybrid learning or flexible learning is to make sure we ensure that kind of equity in delivery and consumption of content in spaces, so we can read emotion, we can express emotion between those in the physical and the virtual, and they're able to maintain and build communities and relationships no matter where they are, where they're teaching from. We've adopted the Huddly L1 and the S1 and the IQ depending on the size of space. And as technical people, we love how clever technology is, but end users don't care. And they're not interested in how clever the cameras are and how clever the switching control system is. It's just about how seamless is it for me to walk into the room and deliver what I want to deliver. And that's kind of really how we consider how we adopt technology. Is, does it improve the user experience? Does it make the user experience more pleasurable to use? And is it simplistic? And with Huddly's, it's a single connection. There's no drivers that are required to be installed. There's no additional setup. It's very much a plug-and-play, user-friendly solution. And for us, the ability for us to minimise the requirement for us to support end users and to troubleshoot issues was massive. As it's been adopted into our standard now, so as we move forward through our building refreshes, we'll be deploying that across the whole campus. So Huddly's now officially be part of our adopted technology standard for Lincoln. We've started to see them in all spaces over the next couple of years as we refresh buildings. I think for us, where we're looking to harness the potential of the Huddly crews and the Huddly crew into larger spaces and to offer multi-camera angles between the presenter and the audience, and we're looking at how we develop that and install that into our larger spaces into some of our flagship lecture theatres. Doing that in some of those rooms over the summer. So that's kind of where we see our next challenge and where we want to kind of move forward with the product.